Okay, in continuation with our diabetes series, we'll discuss on the criteria for diagnosing DM. Okay? Pero disclaimer lang po, ang topic po na ito, ang concept po, the criteria of diagnosing diabetes mellitus is one of the least asked questions in our board exam for the reason na hindi naman responsibility ng nurse na mag-diagnose ng patient. It is in the realms of the responsibility of the physician, hindi po bias or no. Yes guys, pero kailangan pa din natin malaman kung anong ginagawa natin sa mga test na ito in order for us to assist the patient, especially in terms kapag nagtatanong sila or when we are already doing the test. If tatanungin man tayo sa board exam, it's on those things. It's on those areas. Kung anong gagawin natin kapag ginagawa natin yung casual plasma glucose, anong responsibility ng nurse doon. It's not on the finding or memorizing ano yung mga normal values or whatnot. So yan lang, disclaimer. And it eases anxiety kapag nakikita ka ng malaking numbers or napakaraming numbers na kailangan mong i-memorize. Just remember that this is one of the least asked questions. Pero sa ating mga practice questions, I do encourage that you try to at least familiarize yourself with the common values that are associated with this test. Okay? So kapag nagda-diagnose tayo ng diabetes mellitus, as I said in the previous video, hindi po natin ginagamit. Hindi po ang 3Ps ang basihan. Pero part siya ang basihan natin when we're trying to diagnose diabetes mellitus. So kapag sinasabi nating 3Ps, yun yung diniscuss natin, clinical manifestations, hindi po bias or no. Yes guys, yung polyuria, yung polydipsia, or what you call your excessive thirst, and polyphagia, or what you call your excessive hunger. So, kapag nagda-diagnose tayo ng pasyente na may DM, ang ginagawa natin is to look for the 3Ps, okay, the 3Ps, plus at least a positive finding of one of these. Itong casual plasma glucose, fasting plasma glucose, and 2-hour post-load glucose. So let's discuss each of them. So kapag sinasabi natin casual plasma glucose, guys, ang ibig sabihin lang po ng casual plasma glucose is that it's done any time of day. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin po niyan, it is without regards to the last meal. Okay? Without regards to the last meal. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, kahit bago pa kumain ng pasyente, we take the blood glucose and umabot siya doon sa threshold na ginagamit natin, then that is already a positive finding. Okay? So kapag sinasabi natin casual, any time of day without regards to the last meal. So ilan yung positive finding ng kapag sinasabi natin casual plasma glucose? That is usually around equal to or more than 200 mg/dl. Or kapag gumagamit naman tayo ng osmoles, we usually have around 11.1 milliosmoles per liter. Okay? How about sa fasting plasma glucose naman, guys? I know you're all familiar with this type of diagnostic test because ito yung pinaka-common na ginagamit natin sa mga pasyente. Hindi po bias or no? Yes, guys. Kapag sasabi natin fasting blood glucose or plasma glucose, we usually restrict what? Restrict any form of calories. Okay, kapag sinasabi natin calories, hindi lang yan makikita sa rice, hindi lang yan makikita sa bread, but it's also found in proteins, in fats, and also in alcohol. So, ibig sabihin, we need, in general, to restrict oral intake of the patient. Now, the next question is, pwede bang uminom ng tubig yung pasyente natin? Yes or no? Kapag sinasabi natin fasting plasma glucose, okay? Water, guys, is usually allowed, okay? Allowed po yung water natin. As long as the water or the fluid that we are giving the patient doesn't have any calories. So, hindi pwedeng milk tea, hindi pwedeng juice, so on and so forth, okay? Because it will disrupt the accuracy of the test, okay? So, the next question that is asked is for how long? How long should we fast the patient or recommend or give the recommended fasting time, okay? It should be around 8 hours po. Again, it should be around 8 hours. Now question, bakit po 8 hours ang recommended fasting time sa ating plasma glucose level, fasting plasma glucose level? Because guys, that's actually a very good question, you know? Because around 8 hours, guys, the reason for that is because around 8 hours, the body has already transitioned in what you call a basal metabolic rate. Again, basal metabolic rate. And what is the reason why we would want a basal metabolic rate sa ating mga pasyente? Well, because the basal metabolic rate will allow us to accurately measure yung tinatawag nating baseline glucose levels. And ang baseline glucose levels, this is usually pinuproduce ng tinatawag nating liver. Okay? So, paano natin masasabi na positive yung fasting plasma glucose levels ni patient? When the fasting plasma glucose of the patient goes beyond or equal to around 126 mg/dl. Or that is around 7.0 milliosmoles per liter. Okay? Sorry. Okay, move muna natin. So, how about yung tinatawag nating 2-hour post-load glucose or also well known as 2-hour postprandial glucose. Postprandial. Kapag sinasabi natin postprandial, ang ibig sabihin ng po niyan is 2 hours after meal. Postprandial after meal. Okay? So, itong test na to, ginagawa natin ito sa tinatawag nating OGTT or that means oral glucose tolerance test. Kung saan, anong gagawin natin dito, anong ginagawa at saka responsibility ng nurse dito. Kung saan ang pasyente will drink what? Drink yung tinatawag nating glucose load. And how much usually is the glucose load? About around 75 grams of glucose. About 75 grams of glucose. So after the patient drinks, okay? So we wait for how long? For 2 hours and then we measure the patient's blood glucose level. We measure the patient's blood glucose level. What is the reason why we need to measure or look at 2 hours after the patient has drank a glucose load? Well, because we want to know how the body processes glucose after a meal. So sa mga normal individuals, it will peak for a short period of time and then go to the baseline levels again. Sa mga patient naman natin na may diabetes, yung blood sugar levels nila will remain elevated for longer periods of time after eating. Bakit? Because there is insufficient insulin production dahil sa insulin resistance, especially in what you call your type 2 diabetes. So kailan natin masasabi na positive yung tinatawag nating 2-hour postprandial glucose test? It is when the patient's blood glucose level is greater than or equal to 200 mg/dL or around 11.1 milliosmoles per liter din. Kagaya ng casual plasma glucose findings natin. Okay? So another thing that is usually commonly asked, another thing is that we also have what we call our HbA1c. Are you familiar with that? Or what you call your A1C testing for short. Some student may mistake this for a diagnostic test, but it's not for a diagnostic test, guys. Okay? So yung glycosylated hemoglobin po natin is not for diagnosing diabetes, but instead, it is for monitoring your diabetes. So siguro kailangan natin i-correct yung misconception na yan kasi baka madali tayo niyan sa board exam. Okay? So let me explain to you what is the purpose and what is ano yung ginagawa ng glycosylated hemoglobin testing natin. Okay? Yung body natin, yung RBCs natin to be specific, yung red blood cell, this is what you call a RBC, your red blood cells, has the tendency or the affinity to attach to glucose molecules. Ibig sabihin, pwede po maka-attach yung RBCs natin with glucose molecules because they have glucose transporters. And this attachment, guys, yung pag-attach ng glucose sa ating RBC is somehow irreversible. Ibig sabihin, there are only certain conditions that would facilitate the detachment of the glucose from the RBCs natin. Now, since the lifespan of our RBCs is around how many days? Is around 120 days or that's around 2 to 3 months. If we measure yung amount ng glucose molecules in the RBCs that are attached, or if we measure how much glucose molecules are attached in that RBCs, then we can have an idea kung gaano ba karami or gaano kataas yung sugar levels ng pasyente within the last 2 to 3 months. So yung ibig sabihin, ang glycosylated hemoglobin is not, again guys, it's not a diagnostic test, but rather a long-term or tinatawag nating long-term monitoring. Okay, again, long-term monitoring of blood glucose levels. Okay? Because this blood test reflects the average blood glucose levels over ilan nga yung months or around ilang days? Around 120 days, and that is around 2 to 3 months. And again guys, and the reason for that is because of the glucose hemoglobin band. So ibig sabihin, kapag mataas yung HbA1c mo, mataas din yung sugar levels mo within the past 2 to 3 months. And that is a very, very useful na test na ginagawa natin sa mga patient natin that have diabetes. Why? Because most of the patient, and this is apparent sa lahat ng questions nyo sa medical surgical nursing, the number one na defense mechanism ng mga clients natin when they are given or if they are to be diagnosed with what you call a chronic condition is what you call your denial. Okay, the denial is the river in Egypt. Okay, yan. Why? They have a hard time accepting that they have a condition. Hindi po ba yes or no? Yes guys. So nakikita natin na maraming mga pasyente na mayroong diabetes na kalmitan, chini-cheat nila yung monitoring or mismong medication adherence nila. Okay, so ibig sabihin kapag nalaman nila na mayroong glucose test na i-administer yung doctor ng ginagawa nila, magpa-fasting sila ng 2 or 3 days, and that can drastically decrease the amount of blood glucose levels in their blood. So pwede lang i-cheat yon by fasting. But in this case, sa glycosylated hemoglobin natin, hindi na nila pwede yung i-cheat because that is a definitive view of the 2 to 3 month past glucose levels ng client. Okay? So that is why glycosylated hemoglobin or A1C testing is a very important indicator for monitoring as well as medication adherence. Hindi po ba yes or no? Yes guys, very good. Now, how do we interpret that? And when can we say na normal or above or within the limits yung HbA1c ng pasyente natin? Well, kapag normal yung HbA1c, that is around 4 to 6%. So, sa normal individuals, that is around 4 to 6%. How about kung diabetic yung individual natin? When can we say na normal, and that means na meron silang blood sugar control? If the HbA1c result of the patient is less than 7%, that means that there is good diabetic control or blood sugar, okay? Blood sugar control sa ating mga pasyente. Okay? But again, remember, the higher the values, the higher the average, the percentage, or kung more than 7% yung diabetes target, that diabetes HbA1c reading target natin, that means that the patient may not be adhering to the medication regimen, pwedeng panay pa rin yung kain nila ng mga high-caloric foods, so on and so forth. So that is the several diagnostic criteria and clearing some misconceptions on some tests done on diabetic patients. So again guys, glycosylated hemoglobin is not a diagnostic test, but instead it is a monitoring test na ginagawa natin sa ating mga patient with diabetes. Okay, so thank you for listening to this video. I hope you learned something in this channel, and if you do, please don't forget to like and subscribe the channel for more videos to follow. Thank you so much and have a great day.